Welcome to 2K Sports in the NBA. I'm your host, Damon Bruce. Thursday Hoops. It'll be LeBron James and the Miami Heat facing off against Ty Lawson and the Denver Nuggets. It's off to Denver we go. Let's get the call by Kevin Harlan alongside analyst Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg.
Hello and welcome everyone to the NBA. Here's the starting five. State Farm presents our lineup for the tip-off. First for the Heat, Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. We got Haslam. Always can be counted on, a looming presence and a force both offensively and defensively. Then it's LeBron James, and it's Bosh in at the power forward position. And for the Nuggets, Ty Lawson and J.R. Smith, they're manning the backcourt. And the man in the middle is Nene. He is such an asset to this team. They love what he brings every night. Then there's Gallinari, and it's Martin in at the 4-man position. Here's Lawson.
You got to wonder, has Miami set off a bit of an arms race in regards to talent with what they were able to pull off last year? Are other teams going to look to stack stars just to try to keep up?
Martin with the bucket.
Boy, he just seems to score so easily. The game comes very simply to him.
Backing down is LeBron. Up with it. And the powerful one-handed slam.
Wow, look how quick he flashes to the rim there for the dunk.
Miami on D. Mark, you brought up the stars wanting to play with each other. You know, Steve, it seems like that is the trend now in the NBA.
Well, I think every player wants to play with great players. And it's all circumstantial, really. If you're a free agent and there's a team with cap room and you've got a partner who you want to play with and you can work. It all out like Miami did, then that's great. But I think those circumstances are going to be few and far between.
Right now, let's find out what head coach George Karl had to say to our Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, he told me that basically on the defensive end, if they can do a good job on their outside shooters, everything else should fall into place. He said, listen, if we can force them to work the ball inside on a consistent basis, we feel like we have an excellent chance to win. We'll see, guys.
Doris, thank you. Obviously, Clark, the 3-ball is a big concern for any defense.
Well, yeah, it is, Kevin, but the upside is you're not getting broken down in the lane and you're not giving them free throws, but you still have to challenge those shots. Quite the interesting season for Chris Bosh last year. I mean, obviously more team success than he really enjoyed in Toronto, but individually, his numbers dropped a bit. I don't think it bothered him, though. He wanted to win.
Now, here's Gallinari. Just 5 on the clock. Dishes it to Martin. Over LeBron, and it's Martin that time on the assist from Gallinari. 7 points for Kenyon Martin. Well, talking about Bosh's numbers from last season, Steve, his rebounding and his field goal percentage did drop off from the year before.
Well, and his shooting percentages last year were really in line or even above his career numbers. So I thought Bosh had a good season. It just took him some time to kind of adjust to playing with his new team and a new style. But ultimately, Bosh made a big impact down there.
Well, Ty Lawson is just so fast on the floor. I mean, he's a beat blur. I mean, it's impossible to stay in front of that guy. Low center of gravity and unbelievable speed.
Back to what you said, Clark, about Lawson. We're starting to see a lot of the shorter, quicker point guards make their way, Steve, back in the league.
And I think that's a direct result, Kevin, of the rule changes, in the last 7-8 years. The hand checking no longer allowed, so these smaller, quicker point guards can really get to the rim and cause havoc for the defense.
Nice shot by Smith.
Red hot, right out of the gates. 4 for 4 shooting.
Backing down is LeBron. And he finishes nicely on the layup. It's a tie ball game.
I tell you what, you watch this guy put it in the basket, and his scoring ability can just astound you at times.
Here's Gallinari. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good.
You see that as soon as there was an opening, he threaded the pass right through it.
Smith against Wade. Oh, and the jam high Wade. What a play. Brought to you by Sprite, the Sprite Slam Cam on the replay. Here's Lawson.
Well, the case for the Nuggets the last 8 years has been they've been a playoff presence. I mean, they've only gotten out of the first round once back in 2009 when they made the conference finals. Last season, no different as they get knocked out again in the first round by a tough Thunder team.
Here's Smith. Again, the Nuggets score.
That bounce pass got him the ball in rhythm. Nice play.
So it's Miami now, trailing by 2 for the 3. And it's Chalmers that time on the assist by Wade. Chalmers has got 5 points so far. And for the Nuggets, making the playoffs year after year, but Steve, not getting deep in the playoffs. That's got to be frustrating.
Well, they did make the Western Conference Finals back in 2009, but otherwise it's been a tough spell in the postseason for Denver. But this is a team that has a lot of talent. They've got some upside, some flexibility, some young talent. It's going to be an interesting team to watch the next several years.
Catching up on the changes for Denver. Anderson comes in for Nene. And it's a Flalo in for J.R. Smith. And then for Miami, Ilgauskas is checked in for Haslem. Juwan Howard comes in for Chris Bosh. Eddie House subbed in for Mario Chalmers. Here's Lawson. Poke loose.
So a couple of poor possessions now in a row consecutively. Both times turn. That's not productive basketball. That's not winning basketball.
No, and Clark, you start stringing errors back to back together, you lose all momentum in this game.
Layup off the pick. No good on the layup. Backing down is LeBron. Over a follow. The Nuggets trail by 3. Even numbers. It's stolen by Wade. Shoots the 3. And LeBron gets it to go with the assist by Wade. Wade's got 3 assists in the game. Timeout is called, first of the game for the Nuggets.
This run a definite concern. They've lost all momentum. They need to try to sort this out right away.
A different look for Miami. James Jones comes in for LeBron. And Mike Miller subbed in for Dwayne Wade. And stolen by Ilgauskas.
Kevin, they've just continued to turn the ball over to give it away. They just can't afford to keep playing this way.
No, not if they're going to come back and win this game. I mean, taking care of the ball has to be priority number 1.
Now Lawson. He dishes it to Afflalo to halt the run. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. Afflalo's got his first bucket in this one. Here is House. Back to Howard. That free throw missing. And the Nuggets making a change here. And the second free throw, good. Here's Miller. Gets himself open and drills it.
It has been all offense here early.
It sure has been. I mean, both teams clicking, and it's been an entertaining game as well, guys.
Oh, we've seen some great shots in the first quarter. No shortage of offense. Heat out front, leading by 5.
And the key is you look at the steal totals for this team. They have really put good pressure on the offense.
Well, you know what? Pressure can lead to pilfers, and pilfers can lead to points. So we've got the 3 P's: pressure, pilfers, points. Get it done.
We'll be back momentarily. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway.
Well, despite all the turmoil surrounding the Nuggets last season, the Pepsi Center was a sanctuary as far as wins were concerned. 33-8 for the Nuggets at home, and that was while they were dealing with all the Carmelo Anthony situation.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Well, Al Harrington signed with the mid-level by the Denver Nuggets prior to last season, and George Karl said, shooting fours are huge in this league. Almost every team that wins a championship has a shooting four of some sort. It just seems like there's a personality. I'm just happy to have one. And guys, Al Harrington can definitely help out offensively. With the other interior-minded bigs that Denver has, he's capable of helping space the floor.
Seems like a good fit. Thanks, Doris. And Denver has always been a tough place to win for road teams. Like you said, Steve, third best home record a season ago. The elevation certainly is a factor. You talk to players. Clark, you played in that mile-high air. It makes it a little bit harder to catch your breath.
It does. I mean, there's certainly something to the elevation, but there's also something to the transversing through different time zones, which is often the case, especially for teams coming from the East. And then you factor in a very enthusiastic and supportive crowd. But the biggest thing is they're usually pretty good. I mean, they usually got a pretty good roster. So it's no wonder that teams have a tough time getting wins at the Pepsi Center.
Back to Harrington. Banked in off the glass. Harrington's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Good job creating an easy bucket there.
Here's Chalmers. Here's Ilgauskas. Again, the Heat good for two. Here is Miller. Pass to Afflalo. Covered by Miller. Chandler, the pass to Afflalo. Out to Chandler. Over Jones. And there's Chandler. That's good on the assist by Afflalo.
Aaron Afflalo is one of my favorite players, guys. He's scrappy, he's tough. Always seems to get better every offseason. He's a really good player to have on your team.
There's no way to stop that. I mean, there's nothing you can do when he's coming at him like that.
Well, that's right, Clark. Steve, he is a dangerous, dangerous player.
Yeah, especially when he gets to that launching pad right there in the lane. I mean, pretty one-handed finish. That was nice. He's put on an offensive clinic. They've got to deny him the ball.
Yeah, and if that fails, then double him, Steve. I mean, they can't allow him to continue to hurt him like this.
Nene, covered by Ilgauskas. Shoots a fader, and there's another one for the Nuggets. Steve was just talking about the way Aaron Afflalo keeps adding layers to his game. That's a big part of what you think. In terms of what makes the complete player, always a tough defender, Afflalo, but we saw how he added Clark a nice three-point shot offensively, especially from the corners.
You know, going back to when I met him when he was at UCLA, there was a real maturity and professionalism about him, and that certainly has shown itself in his pro career, because that's what you want. Guys that are solid, low maintenance, and you know they're working on their game and getting better. And he's hungry. He wants to prove that he's a really good player, and so far he's been able to do that.
A real pro, like you said.
That's right.
Yeah. And stolen by Chalmers.
Well, his 4 turnovers aren't helping his team's cause at all, are they?
Second chance effort. Chandler with the block. The Nuggets trail by 11. Martin dishes to Lawson. The pass to Nene. They get a hand on it. Steps back and fires. Nice shot by Smith. Smith's got 6.
Well, the big story, of course, a year ago for Miami was the formation of the big three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And although it took some time for those three to click, eventually they figured it out.
Now, here is Lawson. Puts up a 3. Another 3 for Denver.
You give him any kind of space, he's going to knock that down.
Stay back to what you said about Miami. They struggled out of the gate. They were 9-8, but after a rough November, they kicked it on in December. And Clark, I think really the game that kind of spun them around was their first LeBron appearance in Cleveland in early December against the Cavs.
Yeah, that was impressive win. I recall that was almost like an NBA Finals type atmosphere in terms of the media attention and so forth. But in that month, they went 15-1 and really seemed to find their rhythm and, quite honestly, never looked back.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin. Well, one of the things the Heat had to overcome early last season was their fear of stepping on each other's toes early. There was a turning point that helped them get by that and put it behind them. LeBron James saying of Dwayne Wade, he stopped trying to figure out if it's his time or my time. Instead, we just played our games, and the results were pretty good. Guys, hard to argue with that logic.
All right, Doris.
When you gather stars like that, they'll take some time figuring it out.
And he slams it home. Here's the replay on the Sprite Slam Cam.
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe? That finish? Boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average typical dunk. And guys, an interesting offseason for LeBron James after he made that move to Miami. A lot of people questioned his competitiveness once he decided to join forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
Pulls up on the wing, and there's another one for the Nuggets. The Heat leading by 11. Here's Wade, drops it in from 12 feet. Wade's got 9. You know, back to what Steve said about the big three. Clark, you know, it might be a fair question as a lot of NBA greats ask the same thing.
You know, Kevin, I can understand people debating it, but I don't know if...
A slam dunk by Wade.
And that steal led to that easy transition basket.
You know, Steve, they've got those guys reeling a little bit right now.
Get 19 seconds left in the first half. Backing down is Martin. And here's Gallinari outside. Gets it to go. Gallinari's got 5 points now in the quarter. And so we conclude the first half. We'll be right back here from Denver.
Thanks for staying with us for HP at the half. Miami up on top against the Nuggets over at Pepsi Center. At every opportunity, they're pushing it on the break and looking to run it down the opponent's throat. A sensational first half for LeBron. He's got 14 points and been a huge factor on the glass. And the Nuggets, they're putting up a fight. Team's on fire, torching the rims. Just take a look at that field goal percentage. Kenyon Martin's been on a roll in the first half. The bucket looks about 5 feet wide for him. He hasn't missed one shot. Can you believe it? And that's it for now. Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke are standing by, ready to call the second half.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. The Heat leading by 12.
Guys, if you're a visiting team, I mean, the Pepsi Center is one of the toughest places to try to steal a win. I mean, the altitude isn't helping matters, that's for sure, and it can actually literally take the wind out of you.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And the foul called on the Denver Nuggets. And for the Nuggets going back to their home court advantage. You know, when you get off the opposing team bus, the first sign you see as you go in that doorway is, just to warn you folks, you're a mile high and breathing, right? And
That's right.
You played there, you saw
Yeah,
it.
no, that's right.
It's hard to breathe here. So now you mix in their high energy, that high pace of game that they go through. Hey, wow, what a combination.
Yeah, it's a lethal combination if you're the road team.
And they're too deep at every position, guys, so they can really put some pressure on you at both ends of the floor.
You know, it's really the kind of game you expect from him, guys. I mean, extremely efficient, taking a lot of good shots.
Shots good. 7 points for Watson. Here's LeBron. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. Wade's got his 4th assist in this one. Lawson kicks to Nene. Top of the key. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. Nene's got his 2nd bucket.
You look at what George Karl has overcome in his battle against cancer and other issues the last few years, and it's just a testament to how tough a person he is.
Denver calls timeout.
Easy to see why he called this timeout. They've been allowing way too many shots around the basket, and that can't continue.
Good thoughts by Clark as we go back to George Karl. A lot of guys, Steve, would have called it a career, but you know and I know, all of us know, he just loves this game so much.
Well, it was so nice to see the support that he got from around the league as he battled cancer. Did such a great job with that team during the Carmelo drama, as they called it. It was really a very taxing year for George Karl, but he battled through it and ended up putting Denver in a really good spot heading into the postseason.
Oh, and the jam by LeBron. Here's the angle on our Sprite Slam Cam.
Yes, indeedy. Boy, I love that one. That's not just any plain dunk. That has some panache to it.
That's an energizer, guys. That is an energizer.
That is, and that will lift the whole team up.
Al Harrington's checked in for Kenyon Martin.
And LeBron's numbers last season really slipped in the early part of the year as he tried to adapt to his new teammates and his new surroundings. But as the season went on, he became more and more effective. And that was one of the reasons he ended up with a career high in field goal percentage, right around 51% from the floor.
Guys, he's really shot the ball well. It's definitely not his fault they find themselves trailing in this one.
They come right back with the triple.
An eye for an eye. How about a 3 for a 3, Steve?
Open look. And again, it's Denver. Going back to what Steve was talking about with LeBron, if he's being more efficient, Clark, with the ball, I don't think he is too concerned with his numbers, with his totals.
Kevin, that's one of the beauties of LeBron James's game to me. He's interested in playing the game of basketball at the highest level. If that means giving it to another player who's open, he's fine with that. If that means taking shots, he's fine with that. I love the fact that he's comfortable in who he is and he's not worried about what other people think he should be doing.
And it's Miami with another.
Well, I like that he's come up with some big baskets for this team to help him out in getting this lead.
Lawson with it. 10 points for him. Wade picks him up. Wade gets a hand on it. The Heat leading by 16. LeBron, Lawson defending. Harrington against Bosch. Over Harrington. Again, the Heat good for 2.
Well, Miami last season, despite their struggles as they tried to find that rhythm with their new big three, they ended up finishing 2nd in the NBA in team field goal percentage.
Launches a 3. Another 3 for Denver. Steve, getting back to the Heat, you look at who is taking their shots, and it isn't surprising to see the shooting percentage, Mark, I'm sure for you too, so high.
Well, I mean, you look at LeBron, Wade, and Bosch, all were right around 50% from the floor and accounted for 67% of the team's field goal tries. So, you know, it's hard to blame them for taking that higher percentage of the shots when they were making so many of them.
And it's the Nuggets with the ball after Dwayne Wade hitting the 3. The 3 from LeBron, and the Heat, another 3.
Well, I like that. They ran to the three-point line and got an uncontested look there in transition.
Lawson against Chalmers. Howard down the dunk.
That's just rubbing it in, fellas.
Throwing it down with style.
These folks are not going to forget that one anytime soon.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
You know, and the question for the Nuggets now, without a singular star player, is can they continue to win that way? The conventional wisdom throughout the league is that you need 2 stars, maybe a third, to be a great team. But this Nuggets team has a lot of good players and tremendous depth.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. Chris Anderson has checked in for Nene. Martin comes in for Al Harrington. And Andre Miller has subbed in for Ty Lawson. The Heat leading by 19 points. Here's Howard. He drains the quick shot. Howard's got 5 now.
Another fast break hoop. They're just outrunning their opponent here.
You know what, Steve? I think the defense has left themselves vulnerable, and they're learning the hard way that speed definitely kills.
Well, they've got to do something defensively because he's been unstoppable.
And defensively, Steve, your only choice now is to double him. I mean, I don't think there's another option.
And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That's on Chris Anderson.
Shooting for Miami, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. 2 shots.
And he makes the first.
Yet to miss a free throw here in the second half, guys.
And you love that efficiency from the foul line, Steve. Really can help you maintain a lead and win a game.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. 15 seconds left in the third. Now Miller. Free throw line jump shot. And there's another one for the Nuggets.
It's a good thing he showed up today because without him, this team would be in big trouble.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. What can you say, LeBron James? What an impressive effort today.
Well, why eat at the drive-thru when you can sit down?
So as we get rolling here in the fourth, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
Well, Kevin, for that great stretch the Heat just put together, they get the Sprite Spark Award. Their lead continues to grow as the game progresses. They've shown absolutely no mercy and continue to find a way to add to their lead every trip down the floor, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you. That run has made a difference, guys. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what got them off and going.
Yeah, they were really able to seize the momentum at that point, and they just rode it.
Martin with a screen on Miller. Here's Chandler, accurate with a jumper from the elbow.
Well, he's been scoring pretty well on just a few attempts. It might help him out if he was a bit more assertive. That's just a sloppy pass, a lack of focus there.
Easy finish there.
Defense was helpless.
Here is House. And it's Martin picking him up. It's hauled in by Andre Miller. The Nuggets trail by 20. And Afflalo kicks to Martin. Jones gets the whistle for blocking. That is his first foul of the game.
A little too much body on that one, and that's going to be a block.
Always a hard thing to judge, but I agree with you, Steve. Clearly a block.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. Nene, he's checked in for Anderson. And it's Lawson in for Andre Miller. And then for Miami, Udonis Haslem. He's checked in for Juwan Howard. LeBron comes in for James Jones. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Eddie House. Here's what Miami's going with right now. Eric Dampiers checked in for Haslem. Juwan Howard comes in for LeBron. And Mike Bibby is subbed in for Dwayne Wade. Nice movement. Nene rises up and throws it down.
That was vicious. I mean, real vicious. He hung on the rim just to say. You realize this is my basket, don't you?
Yeah, that is a nice finishing touch.
Yeah, just finishing with a little emphasis, guys. Nothing wrong with that.
Here's Lawson, smooth as silk on the finger roll.
Finger roll, that's pure style, guys. I like that.
Here's Howard. They get it again. Dampier, the pass to Miller. The Nuggets on offense. Good momentum, 8 straight points. And finished off. By Martin. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
As soon as they made that steal, it was off and running.
Yep, and they acted on it, partner. That's an easy 2 points off the pilfer.
And taking care of the ball has been a problem for them.
Yeah, defensively, some really good pressure being applied, though, so you've got to give credit there. It seems like they've been rattled a little bit.
Steve, you think they've been rattled?
Oh, they're rattled all right, and turnovers will kill you, especially with a team like this that can force turnovers and get out in transition.
Maybe against Lawson. Another three for Denver.
And these two just going at it from deep now.
You know, it seems like what's going on here is anything you can do, I can do better territory.
And the jam by Ilgauskas. And they by 16. And we
First look, how bad it is.
For his sake, hoping that he's okay.
catching up on the changes for Denver. Chris Anderson is checking for Nene. Alvaro comes in from Mark. Harry Ford checking for Wilson Chan. And J.K. Smith subbed in for Lawson against Chalmers. Lawson dishes to Anderson. That is a man. Austin with the assist.
Yeah, they're finding the open man. Unselfish play. I like it.
Yeah, I love it too. Teamwork and evidence. They're right on full display. A big percentage, a high percentage of their baskets have come off assists. When you think of elite shooting guards in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is the #1 name that comes to mind. Dwayne Wade is really close to being his equal.
Fuck you brought up Wayne and Kobe. Both talked about compared to Jordan.
George in terms of the athleticism and the ability to rise under pressure. He seems to really thrive when the game is on the line. He enjoys taking that last shot. He doesn't worry at all about missing it. He's a guy who wants the ball in his hands with the game on the line.
And here's LeBron outside. And falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne. Wade. Wade's got 5 assists in the game. Oh, no, he may have gotten injured right there. He's in a lot of pain.
Boy, that did not look good, Clark. I'm not sure how soon we'll see him back.
Yeah, I'm with you there, partner. I mean, that's the last thing anybody wants to see, that kind of injury.
Mike Miller's checked in for Miami. Nene, he's checked in for the Nuggets. Martin comes in for Gary Forbes. And Bosch backs down. Soft touch off the glass.
You know, they've really made the best of their chances down the middle of the lane here.
Yeah, they haven't met much resistance down in the paint, so I think you've got to continue to pound the ball down low.
From 11 feet away, again the Nuggets score.
Fantastic assist, tremendous. I mean, you got to love that kind of passing. Beautiful.
From deep three-point range, that's good from Wade on the assist by Chalmers. Wade's got 14 points here in the second half. The Nuggets trail by 17. Here's Lawson. Out to Smith. And again, it's Denver.
His eyes were wide open there, guys. Excellent vision to see they had an open shot outside and get it there.
Wade gets the bucket.
No, you can put this one in the W column. I mean, this is locked up now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they closed this game out exactly like they needed to.
Denver calls timeout. They're trailing by 18. 1:03 left in the fourth.
Well, the West has long been considered the stronger of the two conferences in the NBA, but Miami, with its revamped roster, really had no problem beating Western Conference foes last year.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Ilgauskas is checked in for Haslam, and it's James Jones in for Mike Miller. That shot wide open.
Now, they probably needed more of this earlier, guys. I don't think there's enough time left to get back into the game.
Guys, this is really a case of too little too late, but at least it gives them something to work off of going into the next game.
You're right, Steve. Going back to Miami in the West, 20-10 against that Western Conference. That was kind of a rarity.
Yeah, Kevin, and if you compare their numbers against the West versus the East, the Heat had a much easier time putting up points against the Western Conference opponents.
And again, Miami with the triple.
Another bucket, and they are just pulling away here now.
Yep, no doubt about it. They're sprinting to the finish line.
Here's Wade. Drills it from outside. Wade's got 34.
And that's going to do it. I mean, this thing is pretty much over. They've played well.
Well, it has been a bit anticlimactic the end of the game, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
That pass was right on the money. Set the play up perfectly.
Here's Chalmers. Here's Bosch. And the Heat, another three.
They're in a groove now. These three-pointers just falling at will here in the second half.
Yeah, I think the defense has got major headaches because this team's just not missing.
And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports. And now, Jordan presents our player of the game, Dwayne Wade.